Coming off a game in which we fully sold out, trying to get Chuba Hubbard his superstar dev, and we were close, but unfortunately did not get it. Chuba Hubbard did have over 100 yards total and 2 touchdowns on the day, but we missed out on some opportunities, some open looks that could have given him the yardage needed and would have won us the game. Instead, we went for it late on, did not pan out, and we would lose 17-14 to the Saints. And that leaves us with 4 games left in this season before we get into our first offseason, and I did make a couple changes to the starting lineup, essentially just trying to bring out some younger players and get them starting to develop. So Mingo takes over. He's been obviously out there playing for us, but he's now taking over at wide receiver 1, as we're going against Terrence Marshall out here at wide receiver 2. That's really the only change for the offense. We're going to see Blackshear maybe a little bit more as he takes over the halfback 2 role, and tight end staying the same. Hurst has just been too good to put in Tommy Tremble. As for the defense, seeing again a little bit of some change. Essentially, we're bringing in all of the young corners. So Henderson and Long Jr., they are our top 2 corners, as we're going to bring in Boodle, assuming that that's how that's supposed to be pronounced. He's another young guy, so we're taking a hit at the overalls for some of these spots, but still want to get these young guys out there, see what they can do for us before the end of the season. And that does also mean bringing back Robinson to start at strong safety. He did start in our first game of this series as Von Bell was injured with a practice injury. Bell hasn't really done anything fantastic, and the safety is already a spot I'm looking to make some changes at. So hopefully Robinson shows that he might have something to play for the future. But that is all the changes that were made. Hopefully, again, we see those players make some big plays. We're going to be running the offense how it's supposed to be ran today, and not solely just feeding Hubbard, though still expect him to be a big part of our game plan. As we're playing against the Falcons today, they are 8-5, atop of our division, but not by a comfortable lead. The Saints right behind them, 7-6. As for the rankings individually here for the Falcons, they're pretty solid, about average, sometimes maybe a little bit slightly above. Their best thing, though, is their rushing offense. Bijan Robinson is going to be a problem. They have a 27th ranked passing offense, 13th in points per game. Defense-wise, very average, slightly above average, with 11 points per game, 19th in passing yards given up, and 13th in rushing yards given up. So we'll see where we're able to hit, whether it's going to be rushing or passing. We've kind of done both in at least 3 games that we've played so far. We'll see what our 4th game has in store for us with all the young guys headed out. As we get this game underway, it will be offense headed out first. Smith Marset back to return as it does not reach the end zone. Blocking not fantastic, and we start at the 20. For Young to head on out, he did not have a clean game last week. Passing game in general was just off. But having said that, since Steve Smith Sr. came in, we've seen the best from this passing game that they've had all season, and hopefully we're just going to see a little bit more of that as we get it out to Hayden Hurst. First play is a gain of 17 to the tight end. And it's good to see at least a positive pass the first play. Again, last week we saw some bad passes, and we just saw overall just a lack of really much of anything for the passing game as Chuba Hubbard continues to make these 10-yard runs look absolutely phenomenal. Definitely will also need to see a bit of Blackshear as the game comes along here to find out if we really have that future number 2 running back on roster, as a sack comes in down the middle by Huggins Jr. Tried to wait as long as possible to see one of the routes open up. None of them did. Leaves 2nd and long with an empty set here for Young. Going back out to the running back / wide receiver screen, and it's a loss of 2. Great play from the edge man. So after a pretty quick start to the drive, we now are faced with a 3rd and very long. Need 19 yards to the opposite, about 43. We spread wide. We have Marshall one-on-one to the outside with A.J. Terrell Jr. Not a favorable matchup by any means. Well, what about Adam Thielen finding himself wide open, and he drops it? Well, guess we'll just have to punt it away then. Does pain me to say, but Thielen really hasn't been that true veteran talent out of the receiver spot in our first few games, and we'll see what happens come the off season as we just catch the ankle there. Bijan Robinson, who is coming off of a really good game, 132 yards and 2 touchdowns. That's just rushing. I'm sure he got involved a good bit in the passing game as well. As pass rush arrives right down the middle, Togiai back-to-back games with a sack. And it is good to see that kind of pass rush, because this team does not have a whole lot of true talent to try to build around at that spot going into the future as Jones knocks it away, but there is a flag down. And they call Gruger Hill for some illegal down the field coverage. A little bump and run man, and apparently the refs did not like it. He had a great game last week though. Had 2 sacks and an interception. The defense played a winning game. Unfortunately, the offense, as mentioned, we just gave it away, trying to force that development for the young running back as a late release from Pitts. Gonna be an easy first down and a whole bunch more up to midfield. And continuing the same line of the defensive play from last week, we saw some pretty good man coverage. Obviously, now we have a whole new secondary pretty much out there, so expect things to be a little bit different as they go Pitts back to back, and they're 2 good plays. Desmond Ridder really has found himself in a pretty good situation here. The receiving core better than expected, and you have Kyle Pitts, a very athletic tight end, Bijan Robinson, who could very much help out in both the run and pass as he picks up the first down there. So I do expect the Falcons to be probably even the team for us to have to compete against in this series, as they do find Drake London gain of 5. Now, one positive to having these younger cornerbacks out there today is their press coverage is actually better than that of the veterans that were out there, as Ridder scrambles, picks up the first down, and a shot from the linebacker. So hopefully we do see some better press play on the outside. Love a good press man corner, but we don't really have that on a roster, at least healthy. I need to take a look at the stats of J.C. Horn as he's been out this whole season. All right, now Falcons are driving inside the 15 as we're going to try to send the blitz. Right down the middle, they sent the quick throw. Might have been an RPO dialed up there that worked out really well for him. Pitts has reeled in every opportunity going his way, and they might go back to him here. It is an empty set. They have a couple different options, Bo. They go to loft it out the back. Take a safer play, 2nd and goal. And this time, not coming out with the empty set. Bijan Robinson back there, as he will go out on a route, sending these slants across the middle. It's a late throw, but finds Hollins. Touchdown for the Falcons as they take an early lead. Now, early game chasing really is nothing new with this team. In the last 2 weeks, it's taken us about a quarter and a half to really get this offense going. Hopefully we see some improved play this time around, but play 1 here doesn't go anywhere. We'll say Falcons have had pretty quick pursuit. They're also stacking the box, which is where we need the passing game to start picking things up when possible. As we go back out Hayden Hurst, that's about the only passes we've really completed. Though this offense is meant to have a short, quick passing game, as we have maybe 1 play left here in the first quarter, and definitely should be just 1 play. Though it's going to be a sack. Ball is out. Corbett jumps on it for a 4th and 19. We will have to punt it away to start the second quarter. Offense still very slow. Need to find ways to get that moving a lot quicker. And it definitely doesn't help out that now teams have the tape on Chuba Hubbard, and they know that that's really the offense right now. So some work to do for sure. Hopefully our defense can make some big plays on this drive. We've seen them play really well at stretches. It's just ensuring that they play consistently and not just through those stretches that we can really start to elevate this team, as that ball luckily overthrown, as that should have been a first down completion to London. But we will take some luck for sure, as it's a spread look here, 3rd and 5. They got 2 to the left, 1 to the right. Some short throws going. The Dragon diving through the hands of Henderson. Had one last week, I believe, or the week before. Nearly got another one. And as we start our next offensive drive, how about we actually have a drive here? As we start with a tight set here, Hubbard just right down the middle, trying to burst through, spinning, does pick up the first down. 3 carries, 20 yards. And as I've mentioned, offense moves as he moves, so hopefully we start to move a little bit. As we go with a late release to the outside, Tommy Tremble, look for the spin, does put a beautiful spin there on Jesse Bates. Picking up a nice chunk to the oppo 43. As we then follow it with a spread empty look. Once again, going to go to that screen. No blocking from Mingo. Bates makes a better play that time. So definitely struggling to get things going in the screen game, which has been, I want to say, more of a success for us in the past few. Young just going to step up on this one, diving underneath a tackle attempt. Make it more manageable here for 3rd down, needing 4. And on this particular play, I would love to hit Thielen on the zig. I believe they called it to the outside, though those timing routes have been a bit of a problem. But on the money that time for the veteran receiver, and he holds on to it. Bryce Young, 6 of 7, 49 yards. Definitely nothing flashy yet, but just consistent accuracy is what we need. As we have Chuba, not going to get that one. Hit takes all the air out from under it. Will be 2nd and 10. Tried to find him on his favorite route. He scored a few times with that one. Clearly not on that one, though. As we have another drag going to the opposite side, it's Hayden Hurst picking up the first down inside the red zone. Pushed out at the 11. I figured we would need to end up replacing Hayden Hurst, but if he doesn't regress much, he has been actually a really good tight end. As Chuba tries to find some space, spins out a ghost, gets down to the 6. Needing 5 yards for a first down or 6 yards to the end zone. Get some blockers out in front, just getting the lineman out there, I think was Corbett. Nearly got us there, 3rd and 2. But do we trust the power run game here? Or pop it up for a pass? I stay. Let's go with Hubbard. Trying to get to the outside. Needed to put a move on the man, and he does not. 4th and 2 at the 2. And a similar way to what we did last week. Going for it here. They have all their best cover guys to the outside. We want the zig with Thielen. See if we can get him to bite on the inside, swinging back to the outside. It's open, but the hit threw it off, but Thielen brings it in on the pylon. Or just slightly in front of us. On the pylon would be out of bounds, but for now, touchdown stands. But as expected, gonna go into a further review. Make sure those feet were in, as that is not good camera work. And they do end up saying it was a touchdown, so I guess let's do our own review. As Thielen comes in, quick look, game time action looked good. Let's get a freeze frame at the catch point. 1 foot down, 2 foot drags. That's a touchdown for sure. And with that, we got ourselves a tied up game here, 7-7. So a little bit of some good, a little bit of some bad from Thielen in this one. But hopefully we continue to see a lot more of the good. As that was actually a pretty decent job by Deion Jones slowing down that run as we hit the 2-minute warning. This one has been pretty competitive so far. I expect more of the same. See if any late half shenanigans happen here for the Falcons. As once again they are going out to Pitts, who just outruns Deion Jones. Caught in man coverage and the speed was lacking. Wouldn't say it was bad coverage either from the veteran linebacker, just doesn't quite have the same athleticism as Pitts. That was pretty much the main reason he was drafted so highly. Hasn't been used all too well IRL, but Falcons, they're using him well here. And we could really use a big play from someone along this defensive line, or even whoever we send on the blitz. As we do send Jones, gets stopped immediately. That one too far wide for Pitts. Trying to play a combination of some man, some zone against this Falcons team. Last week, man worked well. In the previous weeks, it was the zone that really only worked. So definitely having to try a couple different things as that pass once again off the mark. And they've definitely been targeting Pitts a whole lot, even with those passes being off. As we send an extra blitzer, though, doesn't get anywhere close, and a flag comes in. They're gonna say the DB got there too early. Looked well timed, just a bad throw. And it's not often a bad throw hurts the defense, but it does there. Free set of downs inside the red zone. On the move, a dot to Bijan Robinson as he retakes the lead for the Falcons. Around a minute, less than a minute left for halftime. But can we match their quick pass game? I mean, they scored very quickly. We do have all 3 timeouts, but that quick game, especially downfield game, really has not been there for us as we had Hayden Hurst wide open, but Young passed the line as he released that one. It was the good read. It was the correct read. Just read it too late. As we have another chance here, it's Tommy Tremble right down the middle, wide open. Can he get a block? No, he can't. We'll call our first timeout there, flipping the field. He's by no means a bad tight end. Definitely feel like he might provide some competition for anyone we might bring in, but right now, the job is Hayden Hurst until he proves that he can't have it. As we roll out here, we have our tight end, and it's Hayden Hurst saving the day as Akuda nearly had a easy interception. And we'll get back to the line quickly. Saving those timeouts, we have 20 seconds and now counting. Can Chuba Hubbard get over the top of this defense? No. Rolling to the outside, just gotta get rid of it. All right, attacking the inside of the defense. The last couple plays worked, but they caught up to it on that last one, leaving us with 13 seconds. We do have 2 timeouts. How about Marshall towards that front pylon, gets the catch and down at the 1. It was close. I mean, about a hair's width from the goal line, but he comes up short. Young tried to power through, and somehow he wasn't in. Onyemata stands him up, and the ball apparently didn't move forward at all, though it looks like it's crossed the goal line. We got 6 seconds left. No way to stop clock here. Fullback dive. Sullivan is in. Did not get dropped, and we leveled this one up going into halftime. Passing game looked really good that drive. And as we head on into halftime, right now we're giving top of our division Falcons a run for their money here, maybe trying to mess things up in terms of their playoff play-in. They're not locked in. Only one team from our conference has been locked in, and we could definitely mess things up these last few weeks. Only other game happening right now is Vegas 28-3 against the Chargers. But as we get our second half underway, Falcons do start out on offense. So defense, gonna need you to have a good drive this time here. They've done pretty well, I will say, in limiting Bijan Robinson, but he breaks off of almost the entire defense there. Last tackler makes the stop. And outside of the swing pass that was the touchdown, Bijan Robinson hadn't really done much to that point. It was really Kyle Pitts who was the problem for us the first half, but it's so far back-to-back Robinson plays. He's at 5 rushes, 39 yards, leaving him with a 2nd and 6 here. We're going to bring a little bit of some blitz as they pass. It's right down the middle. Jones just catches the ankle as Burns will get credit for half the sack, help cleaning it up. 3rd and 18. Blitz dialed up well there, and also the first time we've seen Brian Burns really be much of a factor at all in terms of his sack abilities. Should be our best here, but just really haven't seen it. As they go to Robinson here, a secure tackle by Henderson. Defense gets the stop, sending the offense out for the first time this half. And we are starting back deep here. At the 15, it was a really good punt and next to no return for Smith-Marset. As there's really not much to go to on this play, we get it out to Hayden Hurst, but would have been better with an incomplete pass. Just things you learn as the season and as your career goes along, that sometimes gain to nothing is better than what you could have had. As where's the penalty there? I mean, there was definitely holding. It was in the backfield, so you could kind of argue either way, but we got called for a little bump at the top of a route. They were straight up holding Hubbard and nothing, leaving us here with a 3rd and long. They don't really bring anyone extra. Can we find Thielen? No, instead it's Bates. who goes back to get it. Looked like he was crashing down on the underneath route. That ball was maybe a yard higher. That's a first down. One of those plays that looks so good until it looks so bad. 1st and 10. As they could definitely take a lead here. Finding Hollins to the outside. And luckily he stepped out because for some reason the safety dove out of bounds. He was wanting none of that smoke from what? Hollins is what, like 6'4" or something at receiver? Maybe even taller. He's a big dude, if I'm remembering correctly. As they go to him here. That time Woods not afraid to take the hit. But it does still go for a first down. 1st and goal down to the 7. As they sit in pistol. Robinson not going to get anywhere. Stood up Togiai. He's made a couple impressive plays down the middle in this one. As mentioned earlier, we don't have a whole lot of talent down the middle. The ball is out. And I think Ritter dove in there to recover it. How fitting that a quarterback diving into a pile to recover the fumble would happen against the Carolina Panthers, as Ritter, trying to roll, does roll and gets rid of it. Frankie Luvu forces the throwaway. So after turning the ball over, I'm pretty sure it was inside the red zone. Defense stands tall, just gives up a field goal. Falcons take a 3-point lead, 17-14. And interceptions, they're gonna happen. But as long as you learn from them and don't repeat the same mistakes, fine by me. As we hand off Hubbard here with a good block down the middle. Hubbard breaks away again. This might be one play as he's at the 20. 10-5 touchdown, Chuba Hubbard. He has been phenomenal under Steve Smith Sr., breaking all the tackles and putting on the Jets. Plus a massive shout out to Hayden Hurst. They're getting down to the safety to get the block. Really helps spring him as Ritter and the offense retake the field. Now down 4 points after just claiming that lead. As they swing it out, it's Jonnu Smith picking up 5. I will say, at least while the defense has given up some chunk plays here and there, they're not giving a lot up after the catch. They're flying around, they're getting tackles, and we're not missing a whole lot of tackles either, which is pretty nice to see, as that was just a bad pass, or we got away with some pass interference. Maybe a little bit of a makeup call for the lack of a pass interference call on our screen pass earlier. Either way, 3rd and 5, as they will spread wide and get it to the outside. It's Pitts turning up 1st down, about a gain of 10. He needs just 4 more yards to reach 100 on the day. He's definitely been their go-to receiving target this second half. As they're going deep downfield, it's London not gonna get it. And tight covered, double coverage, Woods knocks it away. Though I do want to give him props for that play call. Brought out a heavy look. We're in the 4-4 defense, really drawing things down. Then they try to pop it over the top. I like the play call. Just wasn't a good choice. At least in where they were throwing. As they go across the middle here, picking up the 1st down. As they do actually break one of the tackles on that one. Help spring them. As they have a 1st down now past midfield. They have a pistol weak set. Will be a throw. Ritter trying to scramble by some time, sliding down, avoiding the Deion Jones hit. And that's something we haven't really seen from either quarterback today, is much of the scramble. We've seen some big plays from Young the last few games. Not sure how much Ritter is scrambling here in this universe. He definitely has the skill set to do it if he would want to, as Gruger Hill does prevent the 1st down. Jefferson close, but just about the length of a ball away. As it will be a tight set here, single back set. We were planning on bringing some extra guys, but that'll have to wait for the start of the 4th quarter, as we are up 21-17 in a close divisional battle. And they will change up their look from the previous time. They now have a strong set in the pistol, and Bijan Robinson breaks to the outside and is gone. We sent the blitz down the middle. They dialed up the stretch to the outside. The blocking sealed it, and there's no catching Robinson. So once again, we got ourselves a field goal game at a time in this game where we need a slow, methodical drive and some type of score to help level this one or take a lead, as Hubbard probably should have been able to break away there, but only ends up managing 1 yard, putting him at 101 on the day. So both these running backs have done the dirty work throughout and finally have broken off a big one. As we try to find Hurst downfield, it's swatted away. Needed a little bit more power behind that into the outside. Plus, that leaves us needing a big play here on third. Need 9 yards for the first down, essentially at the 35. Hard count, no one jumps. We're gonna have Hayden Hurst coming across and is close, but it's 4th and 1. Backed up here. Who do we send out? Well, similar to last week, I think we stick with the offense. Wins don't really mean much for us, but knocking out the Falcons, I think that would. And we got some great blocking here as well, picking up the first down up to the 40. Essentially just trying to play spoiler in this one, having some fun along the way as we have some play action dialed up. Gonna be 1v1 to the outside. Mingo does get the grab at the sideline. Great awareness and body control there as they are bringing down Bates on the outside. So let's make an audible here. We were gonna go with a halfback draw, but now with that stacked box. So let's change it up, and our left guard got beat before the snap. Onyemata, what a play. I don't think I've ever seen an offensive lineman get beat that quickly. Leaving us with a lot more yards needed here on second down. We are going to find Hayden Hurst in tight coverage. Too tight, he can't hold on. Young kind of left him hanging out to dry there as it's 3rd and 18. Hubbard on his favorite route. See if we could get anyone else open or just, yeah, fine by me. Keep it with Hubbard as he can walk down to the 25 before getting bumped out. But now that we are so close to the end zone here, or even the red zone, we're going to start chewing some clock. Blackshear out for his first rush with a bunch of space to the outside, spinning off of one and picking up a solid gain of about 13 yards. He does have a lot more break tackle than that of Sanders, which is why we're giving him some time late on this season to see what he can do and maybe line block a little bit there. Should not have been that easy of a play for Ellis. But if we make it that easy, someone's bound to capitalize. Now, I would love to find Marshall here on the double move. We'll see if he's able to get that open. There's a couple different guys in coverage to that side. We're just going to end up scrambling here with Young. Pick up the block and dip into the end zone. A great first scramble from Young today as he finds the end zone and finds us back in front. And as we say probably all too often, have to rely on the defense to hold that. It is a 4-point game. Field goal does them nothing. But they've been able to drive down the field quickly various different times throughout this game. As they start with Robinson, who gets by the first defender and nearly by the next two, does manage the first. We really need secure tackles here on out. About at the 2.5-minute mark. As they're dialing up some more throws rolling, they have their guy downfield, and it is Van Jefferson to the 45. He's come on pretty strong, I would say, in the last quarter about, with 3 catches, 39 yards. He's really been the one keeping their drives going as Pitts gets the catch. Out after a gain of 8, and the clock moves to the 2-minute warning. It's been a good battle, and it's still going. It's probably going to go down to the wire here. Who's going to make the big play? Robinson has been making people miss. Pitts has also just been really good as well as the slant knocked away. I want to say that was the rookie slot corner out there as well as Henderson, giving us an opportunity here. As they roll to the outside, Robinson stood up by Burns. 4th and game. But where do they go? A tight set here, but 3 receivers. They hand it off Robinson, who is extremely close. Both sides seem to be celebrating. Ref, give us some direction here. And it's a turnover on downs by about half a yard. We turned that shoulder holding the ball. And just that keeps them from getting that first down. And now Chuba Hubbard can hopefully run us to victory. Even though we did pick up the L last week, knock on wood, we don't do that here, the team morale still flying very high under the new head coach in Steve Smith Sr. We just have to make sure we finish strong here. As the first down doesn't go anywhere, they call a timeout. Try to get this one to the outside. Look for a little bit of a cutback. We get by Ellis, but not by much. And on 3rd and 9, you could look for the dagger, get the first down, or make them call that last timeout. I think we at least attempt both. Setting up a pass play, only throw it if it's wide open, otherwise take the sack, something, let the clock roll, punt it, and they just need a stop from the defense once again. Just can't give up easy, quick throws to the outside. They have 1:04, no way of stopping the clock unless they get out of bounds, which is exactly what they do. Quick throw to the outside, caught and not caught actually. They originally say no catch. Looked like a catch to me. We'll take a second look maybe. The earlier review wasn't very good. This one better, but not a good angle. He gets 1 foot down, 2nd foot is very close. Those toes might have landed out. But the ref would disagree and say that the toes were just slightly in. It's a gain of 8 and it does stop the clock, 1:01 remaining. They need a touchdown. Field goal does them no good. They're down 4. And I expect them to move quickly through the remainder. As we're under 40 seconds now, going down the seam, pop it over the top. Drake London breaks the tackle and they're down to the 5. We might need to start calling some timeouts. A touchdown for them gives them the field goal lead, and we would need to match. Defense has done so well up to this point. Would hate to give it up as we nearly get the sack there that could have possibly won it. And now they'll come out with a heavy tight end set. 3 to the left-hand side. It's going to be a play action. Covering the backside, Ritter looking to scramble. A interesting play call. They will have time for at least one more play. Tackle him inbounds. Game is over. Where they go, the throw to the outside, and London comes back for it. The secure grab, and the Falcons take the lead with 7 seconds left. You definitely could have argued we shouldn't have taken that timeout as they got down to the red zone, but figured it was going to help us and at least saved us some time after the return. 2 seconds left. Can Bryce Young and his limited throw power find a miraculous play here? As we heave it downfield, it's not making it to the end zone. It's popped up, but a flag is down. And they're going to call DPI a free play to tie this game up. So rare does a DPI get called on a Hail Mary, but it sends us into overtime as we level this one up 31-31. This divisional battle is not over yet. And we will be out first with a chance to walk it off. As we start with Blackshear out there at running back. Not much blocking as a lead blocker for him. Everyone else did pretty well, just that linebacker sat right there. Was hoping to get him a few more carries in this one, but going with the flow of the game, he hasn't quite had that opportunity. As Mingo gets a release, ball plays to the outside, is not far enough downfield. Okuda able to recover. That should have been a big play. Young missed that one for sure. Leaves 3rd and 8. Hard count, no one jumps. As we get Tommy Tremble to the outside, it is close. Once again, we had this same situation earlier. 4th and 2 at the 33. But the Falcons have just been able to move the ball all too well on offense. That if we do not convert here either way, I just don't think we have that momentum, but we can get it here. With a first down, it's Hayden Hurst wide open. That one, pretty easy, luckily. So we'll get back to the line quickly right off of it. See if we could find something downfield here. Have a couple deep routes. Some sticking underneath. Adam Thielen this time has the step. He holds on to it, and he will walk this game off. The veteran receiver just got moved out of the starting wide receiver group. Got to play some in the slot today. And he shows why he is the crafty vet. We walk it off. Bryce Young to Adam Thielen in OT. Shocking. Top of our division Falcons. It was a great game today. But it was a game that heavily relied on some big chunk plays happening for both sides, and it really came down to the last team to get that big play. As we get our third win in 4 games with Steve Smith Sr. That is what rivalry games are all about. Unfortunately, it doesn't knock the Falcons out of first in the NFC South, but they're at least level in record with the Saints, both of them at 8-6. So I'm assuming the Falcons have beat the Saints at least once, if not multiple times this season. But because of that win and us getting a big one against one of our rivals, we did see a lot of XP come in for Bryce Young, Brian Burns, and Chuba Hubbard. Young getting 2 upgrade points off of it. That is fantastic. These are going to go into field general, as that's at least pretty general area to put it in. He gets +2 to awareness, +1 to throw accuracy deep. Now, I do also want to develop him a little bit as a strong arm, just to see if we can improve that throw power a little bit. So we'll put one of those into that category. And we do not get any of the throw power, but we do get +3 for play action and +1 for deep and medium. He did hit a deep ball to send us into a victory, so we will give him that. Brian Burns, haven't seen much from him in terms of his sacks this season. We hopefully are going to see a good bit more as we move along. We'll continue to upgrade that speed rusher. And he's going to get a +2 to acceleration and zone coverage, now that it's needed, +1 to power moves and 3 to tackle. So nothing for his finesse improves there at all. As for Chuba Hubbard, he's gotten quite a few upgrades already. We're going to go back again to the elusive back. And he'll get a +2 to awareness and juke move, +1 to change of direction. He was, again, pretty solid for us throughout that game. His break tackle is only a 79, but on his really long touchdown run, he broke at least 2 to 3 tackles. So if he continues to play better than what his ratings suggest, hey, fine by me, and hopefully we'll see another further development for him at some point throughout this series. But that is where we're going to leave it today. Have the Packers next time, which will be on Monday. This series every single Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. Plus, we have the State Only Challenge. Playoffs are tomorrow for the Southwest States Only Challenge. That series typically every Wednesday and Saturday, but playoffs a little bit different because it cuts down the amount of games in that series. So 1 game per episode, but you guys can have multiple episodes out in a row. So if that video gets 50 likes and the team gets the win, then you guys can have the next video out tomorrow. So make sure you guys are sticking around. Hit that bell icon on the bottom right or scroll down, hit the subscription button, and definitely make sure you tap the bell icon so you're notified of when these videos go live. All the content coming. This series is off to a really good start. 3 wins in 4, and honestly probably could have been 4 in 4. This division, it's not one that is filled with a lot of good teams. Saints, they're going to see a big overturn very soon. Falcons are on the rise. Buccaneers, they're going to see probably a pretty good overturn soon as well. So we might be able to be in the playoffs a lot earlier on in this series, just due to our division. How far we go, we will see, as we are 3 games away from making our first big moves in reshaping the Carolina Panthers. But so far, it's been fun. Hope you guys have enjoyed, and we will see you next time.